Stay tuned. The
Are you ready?
series is going to
Wake up your magic. Butterflies are powerful transformers, but they beautiful awakeners, right? So, and their lifespan is like this long. Self-love, right? The word, the theme, the focus, the talk, the promo, the attention, the energy. But where's the vibration of self-love? What does that even mean? We are love. Self-love can only come from a space of you knowing who you are. And it's going to take you to be able to control yourself. And that takes on a different mindset and an ability to tune into who you're being. I don't know about this word about self-love. It's just like, it's so distorted and exaggerated, and people are talking about self-love, yet their vibration and their thoughts are still very segregating, for lack of a better term, or divisive is a great word, because self-love comes from an understanding that love just is. We are love, just as we are spiritual beings. So, in coming close to this season's theme of raising your awareness to you being the creator of your life and raising your awareness to who you're being, I thought that self-love is a great conversation to raise your awareness that if you are looking at self-love, that means that you are in lack. It means that you are deficient in this inner connection that pulses through you. You are love. You can't be anything but love. And when you move away from being that space, that self that is in that divisive mode, or in that space of lack, or that space of destructive mode that is segregating you from being the love of who you are and feeling distrustful, skeptical, disorientated, resistant, all these things, that calls you to call the self back into the space of love. Self-love doesn't mean for you to indulge in your ego's desires to just focus on you. You're supposed to be focused on you. If you can't be focused on you, there's no way you can be focused on anybody else. And there's such a distortive energy and misinterpretation of healing, because you are a natural born healer already. But you can't be healing and fixing and directing and guiding and coaching and manipulating and doing all of that when your thoughts are being destructive and divisive and non-inclusive. Doesn't work. That's not how we are. That's not how we operate. That's not where the benevolence of the blueprint of life itself comes from. So let's talk about self and let's talk about love. Self is the aspect of you whereby you are vibrating. Are you being your lower self? Are you being your higher self? Are you being those other different selves? Because you have so many diverse personalities. Why? Because you have emotional points of focus, okay, that contribute to your being. Are you the same self person with your mother? Are you the same self person with your sister or your brother or a sibling? Are you the same self person with the person at work? Are you the same self person with the universe, with your dreams, with your goals? Can you see how you start molding yourself in these different spaces? And where are you with yourself and these relationships? Self-love is missing so many deep-seated connectors because the mind cannot get there. You can't think about love. You are love. Well, that's love. Oh, the mind can't get it. It's trying to catch on the nothingness or the everything that is. It's beautiful. But when you start putting self-love in a segment, in a box, and you start dissecting it by the mind or letting an an IA program. And I have to say, artificial intelligence is compounded by the mind. Artificial intelligence is a library of man-made concepts and ideas and words. Psychologies, philosophies, ideas, programs, what you would think that things are. AI doesn't exist without human beings. Right? So be conscious, aware of that. Where are you using self-love? Love is. Where's the self? Is the self in love, or is the self in the contrast of love? If you're thinking, oh, I need to give myself some self-love, well, it just means you've got to breathe yourself back into your core center, open up that heart. The mind cannot open up your heart. It doesn't have that power. The mind cannot understand anything that the heart does. It's non-tangible. Love is not a thing. It is, just like spirituality is. And now we're in the era that spirituality has now become the biggest commodity. Well, I'm a spiritual entrepreneur. No, you're an entrepreneur. Spirituality is. Well, I'm a spiritual being. Of course you are. Without your spirit, you wouldn't be a human being. I mean, just like, let's come back and bring it to what it is. Love is love. And the contrast of that is the contrast of that. It's what it's not. Where's the self in it? You are the only one that can master that and understand that and tune in. So let's give you some tips of awareness that I would feel would be beneficial, right? Because it's no use saying, oh, well, that's not right, because that I don't have the right to do that. And once again, I'm going to tell you, my words cannot teach you. Your experiences are going to be your greatest teachers. But if you keep on doing the same thing over and over and over and over again without waking up and understanding that you are the one that's creating those reoccurring moments, you have to have a big why for that. And it's your choice. And then you also have to have the responsibility that goes with it, right? So understanding the self can only come from the inner aspect of self. How you're connected to yourself will kind of draw out your relationship web of life, right? Where we feel you need to go in and protect yourself from the things that create the self-love need is when you're not being creative and you're not tapping into your wisdoms, right? Where you're not listening. Love just is. Love has no boundaries. Love has no pools. Love is. When was the last time you were in love with yourself? When was the last time you were in love with life? But for real. When was the last time you were in love with your partner? And if you're looking for your partner to be in love with, you've misplaced yourself. When was the last time? And I know this through experience because I displaced myself in the self. And there's an abundance of love. So I overgave in that spectrum. And then after a while, you feel that I'm overgiving to a space of a non-love aspect of self. It's not my job to give love. It's my job to be the love and the light that I am. Very big difference, right? That can only come from experience. That can only come from discernment and knowing. And those things are only coming in from the way you're tuned into yourself. Understanding the different levels of self is so important. It's like you understanding your different relationships with your whole circle of life. Who are you as a mother? Who are you as a daughter? Who are you as a sister or a brother? Who are you as a father? Who are you as an entrepreneur? Who are you as an employee? Who are you as a CEO? Who are you as a spiritual healer? Who are you as a minister? You know, there's some crazy things out there. And a very, very dear friend of mine, and I just crossed over to the other side, a beautiful, renowned human being, okay, minister, doctor, acclaimed, status, just unbelievably bountiful of just this incredible astuteness, and yet in a way so stubborn in his mind with regards to what was possible and what is possible in the spectrum of life itself. And does life only come from a space where it's called religion? Or does life authority only come from a space of science? No. Where does love come from? Everywhere. Where does science come from? From that space of everything. It's the dance between that spiritual essence of life itself and love. The contrast of love gives you those experiences to evolve and want and desire more things. So the next time that nudging feeling of self-love comes across your doorway or your desk or an affirmation or a book or a friend or a conversation, tap in. Go higher. Go deeper within yourself. Feel that connection to who you are, and that is love. And if you can't find it, and if you can't feel it, then roll up your sleeves. Do something about it. Ask the self that is stubborn, that is resisting that love, that is hurt, that is wounded, to let it go, to heal, and to forgive. Grab that courage and do something about that. That's what you should be focused on. Not feeding the mind and the ego of distortedness that is disrupting us as human behavioral patterns. I don't even know how to say that because that didn't even make sense. But it doesn't make sense. And that's the power of chaos, to elevate you and evolve you. In a time of chaos, and time of war, and a time of all of these destructive things, you find yourself in that contrast. Because right now, everything is benevolent. Everything is from the source. And when it's not, then it's only you that's giving the space in yourself, okay, to express that non-love aspect of yourself that's coming through and showing up in your life. Sure. That is really, 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 really good right there. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Beautiful information. So my intention is that wisdom there that passes through me, that shared that fills your pulse and your vibration with light and love and raises you to the alchemy of you understanding your powerful creative force and wisdom. May my name is Vanda be your name in your own lights and in your own rays of light and your own connection, because that's what love is about. Love is the healer in you, which ironically, if you go back to Sanskrit, that's what Vanda means, by the way. Okay? It's the healer in you. That cognizant aspect of yourself. But is the way you think in a loving way? Is the way you behave in a loving way? Is the way you are creating in a loving way? Are your habits loving? There's a lot of work here, a lot of opportunity, and a lot of choices at every nanosecond of that space, of this connection. Self-love, come on. Time to stop the fighting. Raise the vibration, expand your wings, stretch out your hand, and be the love that you are. And if you can't, then do something about it. If you won't, then that's seriously disturbing. But it's your choice. But then have the power to shut off those disturbing people and those people that are filled with resistance and anger, that are muffling up and meddling in your life. Stand up, rise up, do the part, love, 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 and start with yourself. How incredibly and opportune this message is. And that goes for an everyday message starting with myself. It's so good to understand the contrast. It's even better to love those moments that have taken you into the contrast, because reality checks are beautiful. They are self-reflections of the power of your creative force and who you are and what you can do. Now, is your web of life beautiful and significant and expansive? Or is your web of life messy and destructive and distortive? You're the only one that feels that. You're the only one that knows that. So self, who you being? Write a letter to yourself. Feel what yourself is saying to you, but never ignore the opportunity for the self that is being disruptive to be cleansed into a loving moment from a space of love. That is the power. That is the moment of self-love. When you're caught judging yourself and when you're caught disrupting your inner well-being with habits of past moments or what has happened in the past, it can only re-happen and recalibrate when you bring them into the self of an unloving moment. That is how the past recreates itself, when love is not present. Because when love is present, nothing that is outside of that vibration can recreate itself, because there's no space. Ask a mother. Ask a father. Ask anybody. But you have to ask yourself, where are you? And so I'll go back to what I've already said in this episode and in this conversation. Where are you? Are you in love with who you are? Are you in love with who you're being? Are you in love with what you're doing? Are you in love with life? Do you really, really love your mother? Do you really, really love your father? Do you really, really love your partner? Do you really, really love your children? Do you really, really love your friends? Wow. Self-love has now become like the highest token of self-awareness, right? And yet people are using it as internal commodity of chips for the mind and mindless conversation and habits that are disorientating some people. Yet others are grabbing, okay, I've got to go do some self-love check-in here. So check in, and check in often, and check into those things of you checking in where you are in that love thermometer of your own passion and your own love, so that the birds can sing and the wind can blow over. And when you're not feeling love, you know which tools can help you get there quickly. All right? Self-love it is.
You want to laugh again?
And love
You
is
want to
strong and
open
as
up
powerful
and
as you are.
awaken your wisdom box so that you can manifest your dreams in this lifetime experience. We are empathic. We are sensitive. We are intuitive. We are psychically attuned to this energy world that is awakening who we are. You're so much more than who you think you are. And remind yourself that your higher self absolutely knows what you want. You are the creator of your future life. Holds for you what you have put into your future, what you're thinking, but most of all, what you're feeling. That is what is coming to you. That is how the universe talks. You are the creator of your life. We all are.
Are you ready?
My name is Vanahaha.